Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, this is Kenyan Revolutionary. I'm bringing you another video. Today, I want us to explore different creative ways in which we can pay for our 9 trillion debt, okay? And this 3.6 trillion proposed budget by President Ruto. How can we pay for it without actually levying all these heavy taxes on the common mwananchi? We all agree this finance bill, it's riddled with tax increase on mwananchi, and it's not popular, as you know. Taxes are never popular. But before I get into it, before I get to the nitty-gritty of these creative ways that I think we can pay for without actually raising taxes on mwananchi, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, and tell me what you think. I would like people to hear from you guys. Comment. I want to have different ideas on how we can pay our way out of this debt and be able to finance this 3.6 trillion budget that President Ruto is proposing. Okay? So before we get into it, now, before we get into it, we should first look at our bills. How much do we owe? And then we shall look at how much can we bring in. And we are going to use numbers by the KRA and CRA. That is Commission on Revenue Allocation and KRA. So, we all know we are on 9 trillion Kenyan shillings debt. All right, that's number one. Now, according to the Constitution, Article 202 of the Constitution, the first charge of payment once we allocate this revenue from the taxpayers, the first charge is paying our bills, is paying our debt, okay? Paying towards our debt. That's according to the Constitution. Go look it up. Constitution Article 202 says that the first charge of payment after we allocate the revenue from the taxpayers, we are to pay towards our debts, okay? Now, after we do that, let's look at what is the estimated revenue that Kenya can bring in the financial year of 2023-2024, okay? Now, KRA projects that we can estimate, there's an estimate of 2.2 trillion in revenue that we can collect, all right? Now, President Ruto, through Ndindi Nyoro's initiative in Parliament, has proposed a plan, his finance bill. Again, the national debt is 9 trillion Kenyan shillings. Right? Now, how much do you usually pay towards this debt? Because remember, I mentioned according to the Constitution, Article 202, the first charge of payment once we receive this tax money is to pay towards debt. We usually pay 1.2 trillion that usually goes towards the debt payment. Okay? Now, Ruto have proposed this, his bill, which is called Finance Bill, which he says, according to his estimates, his financial budget of 2023-2024 is 3.6 trillion. All right? This is including all the goodies, the housing initiative, affordable housing initiative, and all that good stuff. I don't mind all that. But again, the question is, who should pay for it? Now, according to the president, he wants to tax the heck out of the mwananchi, the workers, okay? 3% for the affordable housing, 16% for the VAT fuel, another 2% going to NHIF, all that, you know? This tax that's being levied against the common mwananchi can be too much, especially if you're not earning a lot of money, which most Kenyans do not. So Where else can we look at allocate money to pay to fund this financial bill budget and pay our debt? Let's look at it. Now, before this finance bill is presented to the parliament and it will be discussed and hopefully robustly and thoroughly debated, because I think there's a lot of amendment that needs to take place before it even passes. And my contention is that the Mwananchi should not pay for this budget, okay? They shouldn't. And I'll tell you why. I know you'll be like, oh, what do you mean? We can't operate without, having a budget, number one, and we can't operate without somebody paying for that budget, okay? We have to pay taxes. I know that's your argument, right? Fine. I don't mind taxation, but there's ways, and this will force Ruto to take drastic measures if he's to take this route that I will show you. Because in my opinion, there are ways that we can pay for these things without actually raising taxes. And the main reason that Ruto, or the reason, or the route, or something that he can do to avoid raising these taxes, to fund this 3.6 trillion budget and pay for the debts, the 9 trillion debt, is tackle corruption. Corruption is the number one scourge that has been affecting Kenya since its inception as a nation. Okay? So let's get to it. When I talk about corruption, I'm not just talking about the KEMSA saga that you just had, people getting fired because some money was missing. No. We need to go deeper, and we need to retroactively go back to Kenyatta 1. Let's start from there. The first president to the present. Let's tackle all that. Because the money that has been lost from the days of Kenyatta 1, Moi, Kibaki, and Kenyatta 2, I'm telling you, if we can recover all that money, and we can, don't tell me we can't. There's just no political will, but there needs to be a political will to go after that money. If we go for that money that these previous four administrations have looted, taken away from Kenyans, it's enough to revolutionize the Kenyan economy. So step number one, let's get to it, okay? Let's get to it. I'll be very fast because I don't want this video to be too long. I know you'll lose your attention. I want you to stay focused. Let's go. Number one, let's review the Estate Duty Act, okay? For those of you who don't know what Estate Duty Act is, this law actually deals with when you own land and you die and it's inherited. The person who inherits that land, that property, has to pay tax on it. It's a land tax, basically, okay? So this law was made in 1963, but it was adjusted. It was reviewed in 1969, June 12th, 1969, I think. And if you look at it currently, and this is a total outrage, okay? Estate Duty Act, Chapter 483 of the 1963 Estate Duty Act, Section 7.3, says, this is what it says, and this is what's outrageous about this whole thing. It says, this section shall not apply to His Excellency Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, nor his Vice President His Excellency Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. Basically, these two individuals, the first president and his vice president of this nation, are exempt from paying this tax. This is from 1969 to 2023 currently, they've never paid this tax. Surprise, surprise. These two individuals, families, I know they're deceased now, but their families are the number one families that own the most land in Kenya than anybody else. And they're not paying taxes. They're not paying even a single cent. They're not. Why can't we retroactively evaluate their land, okay, how much they own, their property, and tax them from 1969 to 2023? That's number one. Tell me how much you can bring from that, okay? That's number one. Number two, now we've taxed them, right? Let's look at the corruption in these governments, shall we? Let's start with the individuals. You know, when I speak about millionaires in Kenya, I know Ruto's finance bill is talking about people who make more than 500,000 can only be taxed a certain amount, not more than 18,000, something like that. And people who make lower than that cannot be taxed more than, is it 6,000 or something like that? Now, I want us to go through the real rich folks in Kenya. We're not just going for them because they're rich. You know, being rich is not a crime. It's okay to be rich. If you're innovative, if you're, smart, you work hard, you start a business, you start an industry, and you become a millionaire or a billionaire or a trillionaire, we're not just going to tax you for the fact that you're rich. But these folks, especially Kenyatta and Moi, and we can go down, Kenyatta 2, Kibaki, and I'll give you a few lists. Let me just give you a few lists of these guys that we need to go to, because, and before I give you even this list, let's just use Moi for an example. Let's go to Kroll Report, okay? WikiLeaks. I want to give you just a snippet of what we can collect from these people, okay? All right? Just give me 1 second. Now, there's an article that was written on Friday, 31st August 2007, which it gives you a snippet of the corruption that the Moi family were involved in. It mentioned that in 2007, that is, Gideon Moi is worth 550 million pounds. Philip Moi is worth 384 million pounds. The family owns 18,000 hectares in Australia. And there was as much as 3 billion pounds. This British pounds, okay? Let me be specific. British pounds. These are not Kenyan shillings, okay? That were moved around in different accounts, ranging from Australia, Kenya, New York, all across Europe, Italy. Now, if that's one family, and we know this, even if we calculate how much that president was making, his salary to date, he cannot be a trillionaire in Kenyan shillings, because the guy is a billionaire. I'm talking about Moi family. You see, go read that. I'll leave the link of this article on this video, so you can read it for yourself. Okay? So what I'm saying is this: if we go down the list and we audit the Kenyattas, the Moi family, the Ndegwa family, the Michukis family, the Kanyotus family, the Biwots family, the Kuleis family, the Nyachais family, the Njonjos family, the Odingas family, the Koinanges family, etc., etc. These are the people that we need to audit and see where they got their money and the money that we've stashed across in other nations, repatriate that money, I can tell you without flinching, the amount will be way more than 9 trillion Kenyan shillings that we are currently owe in debt. We can pay our debt and finance this financial bill without levying these heavy taxes on local mwananchi. That will be the real fight in corruption. Is there political will behind it? No. But guess what, Mr. President? You ran on a narrative that you're a hustler and you're against the dynasties. I've given you the list of the dynasties that you can go to. There's the Kroll Report, there's the Pandora Papers, there's the Panama Papers. Go review them. You have a new DPP, Mr. Haji. Enough of this, there's no enough evidence. There's no enough evidence. No. We need to get to the bottom of this. Prosecute them if they're guilty, freeze their assets, and jail them. And don't stop there. Go for the Kideros, the Sonkos. We just saw Sonko the other day flash cash, saying he takes showers in cash. We know these people. The reports are there. The Auditor General already had a report, the previous one, and even the current one. Go down the list up to the KEMSA people. Firing them is not enough. Let them return the money that they stole and prosecute and jail them. There's money. Why not do that instead of squeezing the little guy there that's not making enough money? I told you it would be a creative way of financing this finance bill and also paying our public national debt. What do you think? That's what I want to say. My name is Fabrizio Romano, aka Mr. Kenya Revolutionary. I would like to hear your comment. Like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.